Okay.
I would like to ask about using the mantra as an object of developing mindfulness, as it is not stated in the four foundation of mindfulness. I just want to know whether is there any reference in the Buddha's time that using a mantra.
No, it's not stated in the four foundation of mindfulness, but it's part of the 40 Kammatthana, in which you can use the contemplation of the Buddha's quality by either chanting or by repeating, reciting his name. Mm. So it's, the fourth foundation of mindfulness only talk about the anapanasati, mindfulness of breathing, and mindfulness of movement, which are also contained in the 40 Kammatthana. So there are different ways of developing mindfulness. So you don't, if you cannot use your body as your point of focus, you can use a mantra. You can use either Buddho, Dhammo, Sangho. These also are objects of mindfulness. Or you can contemplate on death. This is also another object of contemplation, of mindfulness. Just keep reflecting that once you are born, you will die eventually. Keep reminding yourself of this. It can bring your mind back to the present, stop your mind from dreaming, thinking about the future or the past. Yeah. So there are 40 different methods of developing mindfulness. So you can choose any method you like. In Thailand, it so happened that Ajahn used Buddho as the way of developing mindfulness. So he taught Buddho, and students who went to study with him used Buddho, and they found it useful, beneficial. So it works for them, you know. So if you don't find it useful to you, then you can use your body as your point of developing your mindfulness. Just keep watching. Tie your mind to your body. Don't let your mind go away. Whatever your body is doing, do with your body. Like when you're brushing your teeth, your mind should be brushing your teeth, not thinking about tomorrow or yesterday. Bring it back to the body all the time. The purpose of having mindfulness is to be able to stop your mind from wandering around, from thinking aimlessly. So that when you sit, then you can focus on your breath. Because when you sit, your body is not moving, so you don't know what to watch. The only thing that is moving is your breath, so you watch your breath instead. If you can keep watching your breath and not thinking about other things, your mind will eventually become one, converge into, become the knower. Get into the knower and stop the thinking. Right now your mind is two, the knowing and the thinking. See? So you want to stop the thinking in order to give strength and happiness to the mind. The mind has to be calm. Then the mind will be happy and strong. Then it will be able to withstand anything that come into contact with the mind. If the mind has no strength, whatever come into contact with the mind will become affected adversely usually. Dukkha will arise. But if the mind has strong mindfulness, then the mind will remain undisturbed. The mind will just merely know and not react to whatever comes into contact with the mind. The mind doesn't need anything. Once the mind is calm, it is happy, it is content. It has contentment. It doesn't need to have anything to make it happy. So whatever comes into contact with the mind can just ignore them. All right?
Okay, another question is about 7 factors of enlightenment. I just want to know how does one factor relate to another factor?
Well, it starts with mindfulness. Yeah. You need mindfulness to be the first factor of enlightenment. Mindfulness is always the chief, the head of the group, the conductor of the band. You need to have a conductor to gather the band members. Once you have mindfulness, then you will have the other factors coming after. So you don't have to worry about the other factors. Just worry about mindfulness first. When you have mindfulness, you can sit and meditate. Then you have equanimity. Then when you have equanimity, then you have the strength to develop wisdom. You can investigate, contemplate on death, contemplate on asubha, and then everything else will fall into place. All you need is to have the key to your automobile. You need the key to drive your car. If you have no key, you cannot start the engine, you cannot drive the car anywhere. But if you have the key, then you can start the engine, then you can drive the car, go anywhere you want. Same way with the mind. If you have mindfulness, then you can drive the mind toward Nibbana. So don't worry about this other factor of enlightenment. Just know what they are and know that you will have to develop them, but you have to first have to have mindfulness before you can develop the other factor of enlightenment.
Okay, thank you.
Do you speak English?
Yes.
Yes, okay. We have a microphone for you, please.
Thanks. Yes, I've spoken to you before. So I just saw you walking, and I made the mistake of thinking that you were speaking at 3.
Yes, but I just want to know maybe if there's anything you...
Yes. So my point is, I saw you walking and I didn't know what to do. If I should go ahead, if I should wait for you. And I had a moment of panic. And that seems to be so prevalent in my life that I don't know what to do in any given moment. And it creates panic. And I tend to be really hard on myself because I never know what to do. And then I beat myself up about it. So...
Yeah, the best thing to do is when you don't know what to do is not to do anything and just let things happen. But normally, I usually speak in English around 3 o'clock. But someday when there's no people like today, it's flexible, can speak now. So if you have anything you would like to ask me, I will be happy to talk to you now. Can you talk to the microphone if you...
I just wonder why I'm so hard on myself, like that perfectionist. Like everything I do has to be perfect. And if I fall short, if I'm not the best teacher, if I'm not the best wife, if I'm not the best friend, I end up turning inwards and...
Well, the knowing why is really not that important. There are many factors, causes. Maybe in your past life, you've been trained to strive like this, to be perfect. And partly maybe it's your nature to be like this, or the people around you, the community you live in, the country you live in, also has the influence on what you do, what you are. So this is not important to know why. The thing that you should want to know is how can you deal with it? How can you do it in such a way that it will bring you some peace and harmony, some contentment. So that's more the question you would like to know or to get an answer from. And according to Buddhism, we should strive not to compete with other people, to accomplish things that people in this world do, because they are illusion. They are like shadows. You can never be perfect because everything is constantly changing, on the move, and you can never control them all the time. So to achieve things outside of yourself is the wrong way to go. It can only create stress in your mind. The true goal is to compete with yourself, to achieve peace and happiness inside yourself by getting rid of things inside yourself that cause stress and confusion and anger and sadness. So this is the true goal, is to fix yourself, not fix other people, not fix other things. Because whatever you try to fix, they keep changing. You might be able to fix it today, and then tomorrow it might break down again. Then you have to fix it again and refix it. Yeah. And when you cannot fix it, then you become frustrated, disappointed, sad. So the goal is not to achieve whatever there is to achieve in this world, like fame, like wealth, and like anything, because they are constantly moving, they're constantly changing, they constantly break down. The goal is to stop this desire to achieve, really. If you can stop this desire to achieve, then your mind will become peaceful and content and happy. So try not to prove to other people that you are good, you are great, you can do this and that thing, To them it doesn't matter whatever you are, what you do, To them it's what makes them happy. And you can never make people happy all the time, because their mood keep changing, and you make them happy today and tomorrow they won't be happy. They can not be happy with you. So the Buddha say, we have to come back inside and forget about things outside of yourself. Right now, inside is constantly boiling. Your mind is constantly boiling due to the continuing desire to achieve, to be loved, to be respected, and so forth. And you cannot make people respect you or love you all the time, Some people might respect you, some people might hate you. So this is not the goal to go after, because it will make you frustrated, make you unhappy, make you confused what to do, what should I do now to make this person happier, to make this situation good, So this is not the thing we should strive for. What we should strive for is peace of mind. Peace of mind is the real happiness.
And that comes from self-love?
No, that comes from stopping your mind from desiring. Your mind keeps desiring, and this desire keeps your mind stressful. When you desire something, you become, anticipating, will I get what I want? When I don't get what I want, I become sad. If I got what I want, I'll just be happy for a few days, a few hours. Then a new desire will come up again. And this desire will keep pushing you to go after things, people, and whatever there is to go after. But no matter how much you have acquired or achieved, this desire will still keep coming back, keep pushing you on and on and on. So the Buddha discovered, which he called enlightenment, that the cause of his stress, his unhappiness, his frustration is his own desire. And he found that once he could get rid of this desire, he find peace and happiness in the mind. And the way to do it is to practice the 3 steps of mental development. First is to be charitable. Second, to be what you call morally responsible, to have morality, not to hurt other people by what you do or what you say or what you think. And thirdly, to calm your mind, to stop your mind from desiring. So this is basically what would bring true happiness to you. Because when you do charity, you don't have to compete. You just give what you have, what you can afford to give. And when you give, you help people, it makes you feel happy. And if you can maintain the precepts to have to have morality, you have to maintain the 5 precepts at the minimum. You should abstain from killing, abstain from stealing, abstain from sexual misconduct, abstain from lying, and abstain from drinking alcohol or any kind of substance that can cause you to become uncontrollable. If you can do this, then your action will be not hurting other people. And you will find that people will like you because of this. And you will be loved, you'll be liked by people because your action doesn't hurt other people. And thirdly, you should learn to meditate, to calm your mind, to stop your thoughts. Your thought is the one that keeps creating desires. When you think of something, then eventually you would want to have that thing. But if you stop thinking temporarily, your mind will become blank, and then the desire that's been created by your thoughts will subside, then your mind will become peaceful. And then you will find happiness. A peaceful mind brings happiness and contentment. Once you have peacefulness and contentment, happiness, you don't need anything. You don't have to accomplish anything. You don't have to do anything, because you know that regardless of whatever you do in this world, everything will eventually be destroyed due to the impermanent nature of things. You can build anything, and in a few years it will fall apart. So that it's useless to go after these things. It's more important to come inside and to stop your mind from chasing after things. Once you stop chasing, stop running, you feel relaxed, you feel comfortable. There's nothing you have to go chase after. There's nobody you have to impress. There's nothing you have to acquire. All you have to do is just look after your body, that's all. As far as things outside of your mind, you just live simply, have a meal a day, just have a simple place to live, a few set of clothes to wear, and that's about it. And if you're sick, have some medicine to cure your sickness. But no matter how well you try to look after your body, eventually it's gonna get old, it's gonna get sick and die anyway. So there's no need to be so uptight about trying to look after your body, because eventually, no matter how well you look after it, it's gonna fall apart. The body's gonna die. So you have to learn to relinquish your attachment to your body, relinquish your attachment to everything that you have, because sooner or later you're gonna have to leave everything behind. You only can go just your spirit. Your mind is the spirit. Once there is no body, the mind, then we call the mind a spirit. According to Buddhism, the spirit, it will still have desire. This desire will push the mind or the spirit to reborn again, to go acquire a new body and restart the whole cycle again.
The one thing about that seems almost, I'm not going to say impossible, but the fact that we live in a society and everywhere you look, buy this, you'll feel better, achieve this, you're going to feel great, get this car, get this promotion, buy these clothes, get these shoes, wear this watch, get this makeup, get the wrinkles off your face, you're going to feel great, you'll feel better if you do this, everything is going to be great if you do this. And when you get that all the time, it seems like a difficult task to just stop that thought process.
That's right. But you don't look at the other side of it. See? You only look at the upside when you can get these things. Mm-hmm. But what happens when you cannot get these things? You feel depressed. You feel sad. Mm-hmm. Sometimes you feel like killing yourself. And sometimes you do kill yourself because you cannot get what you want. See? So that's the problem. You don't see the other half of it. And even though regardless of however much you have acquired, does it bring any contentment, any sense of fulfillment? No. You keep wanting more and more.
Right.
So this is like an addiction. See? Everything in this world is like an addiction. Once you have it, you just got to have it all the time. You have to keep refilling whatever you have and you no longer have, then you have to keep refilling, getting more, replacing whatever you lose, keep replacing, keep acquiring. But you're gonna come to a point where you will not be able to do it. Even if you are financially well off, but your body won't be able to do what you want it to do anymore. That's why people thinking about this suicide when they are old, see, because they say this point to live anymore, because you know your body can no longer support your desire. But if you do what the Buddha said, learn how to stop your mind from acquiring, and meditate to calm your mind, to stop your mind from desiring for things, then your mind won't need to use the body to do anything for it. It can be happy just to be alone and be alone and do nothing. Can be happy that way. Look at the Buddha. If you study his biography, he was a prince, but he look at his body, the future of his body. He see that he's gonna be an old man, he's gonna be a sick man, and he's gonna die. And regardless of how much wealth he had, he knew he could not enjoy them anymore. He wouldn't be able to enjoy them. So he said he wants to try something different. He see monks, so he understood that monks was looking for a different kind of happiness, the happiness that you can find within yourself, the happiness that arises from your meditation practice. So he gave up his wealth, gave up his princely status, and then he went and became a monk. And eventually he found the happiness within himself. And then he was always happy. He never went back to the palace, to live in the palace. He continued to live as a monk in the forest, live a life of simplicity, just having a meal a day, just stay under a roof to protect from the elements. And he only had one set of clothes, one set of robes. But he was much more happier than he was when he was in the palace. So if you want to, you want to get out of this, whatever you are in, the problem you are in, I think this is a solution for you. But it's not easy because it's like going against your whatever you call your
First nature?
Yeah, your nature. Your nature is to acquire in order to be happy. You have to have money, you have to have things, you have to be able to do what you want to do. Then you will be happy. But there are always there are roadblocks on your way. Sometimes you cannot get what you want. Sometimes you lose what you have. And then cause you sadness and anger and whatever, all the bad feelings will arise. But if you choose the path of the Buddha, you find that it will become peaceful. But the roadblock you have to go over are your own desire, your own nature, the nature that you used to go after things. Charity means for you to give up your wealth. Don't depend on your money to make you happy. If you can stop spending money, you can stop working And when you're not working, then you will have time to meditate. And if you know how to meditate correctly, you will succeed, and then you will find peace and happiness without having to have anything. So that's basically what the Buddha's teaching teaches Buddhists to do, to give up wealth by practicing charity. Only keep what you need just to maintain your life, maintain your body. But you don't use the money to buy things to make you happy, because no matter how much you buy, you can only be happy briefly. And you have to end up buying more and more, spending more and more money. And when you spend money, then you will have to go look for money. You have to work. And if you work, then you won't have time to come and meditate. So you want to reverse the process. Instead of making money, giving money away, stop using money to make you happy. And then come and meditate to stop your desire. Once you can stop your desire, then your mind will be happy.
That's actually perfect, because I quit my job so that I could come here and practice my meditation.
Yeah, then you should do it then. Where do you come from?
I'm from Canada, but I live here.
Do you live in Thailand?
Yes.
I see. Many years?
4.
4 years, yeah. And now you're not working?
I start a new job on Sunday.
I see.
I've been off for 2 weeks, so
Okay.
thought it. Instead of starting right away, I thought I would take some time and just come here and.
Have you been here before?
Yes, I've
Did-
spoken with you a few times.
Have you read my books in English?
Yes,
Okay.
yes, most of them.
All right.
They've been very, very helpful. Thank you.
Okay.
But that's still that one roadblock of wanting to please people and getting caught up in my own head. It's still a problem for me. But the one, I would like to thank you, the one piece of advice that actually helped me the most of all of your books is to just stop myself and repeat Buddho, 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 over
Good.
and over and over again.
Yeah.
And that stops the anxiety, that stops the thoughts
Yes.
for a minute. And I have to do it again and again,
Yeah.
but it's been very helpful, so thank you very much.
Okay.
And I appreciate every piece of advice and your wisdom.
Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I hope you keep using Buddha to cure your stress and anxiety.
Thank
It's
you.
very useful. Just keep using it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's working.
Okay.
Thank you.
Good. All
Thank you
right.
for your time.
You want to ask question? Okay. Where you from?
England.
From England. Okay. Go ahead.
I have my own teacher in my country, and I feel like a very strong connection with him. But sometimes it seems to border on like a bit of obsession and almost like a bit of, I don't want to say love because that's silly, but and I was just wondering what Ajahn would suggest. Like, should I listen to him less and see him less, or just watch the mind, or what is the right thing?
Yeah, this is usually normal for students to be attached to their teacher, and sometimes they become possessive of the teacher and expect a lot from the teacher, and when they cannot get what they expect, then they become disappointed and sad. So you should have to draw a line that you should not expect anything from your teacher, only what he can give you. Just like the teacher in the school, in the university. Yeah. Don't try to have that personal connection. Once you have that personal connection, you tend to become possessive of that person, and it can cause a lot of anxiety and anger, even when you feel that he's not treating you properly. Yeah. So basically you have to draw the line that you should not expect anything from him more than what he can give you. Then this will then solve this problem. But if you're expecting more than what he gives you, then you will can be sad or be disappointed, and you can become angry. Okay, just look at your teacher as someone who gives you knowledge, but don't expect anything more than that. Sometimes we expect more. We want moral support. We want emotional support, and sometimes he might give you that, but it's not his intention. Maybe he just sees that you're feeling bad, so he wants to help you. But he doesn't. But you cannot expect from him all the time. Okay, is that all? All right.
Thank you.
Good afternoon, Ajahn. I'm from Indonesia. I've been going around in Ubon, Sakonnakhon, and Mokdahan, meeting all the Longpus. And this is my final stop before I go back to my home country. If I may ask Ajahn, is there any actual benefit to the sometimes people touch Longpus body, I mean the male ones, and they believe it can bring benefit to them. Is that actually true, or?
It's psychologically true, yeah, but not really true. It just makes you feel better. Sometimes just to touch his body or have a piece of his possession, maybe a piece of food from his bowl, a bite of food from his bowl. These are all just beliefs that will make you better, but it's not true. The only thing you should expect from a teacher is his teaching. That's all. And even when you get his teaching, is that it doesn't mean that it's enough. Once you get his teaching, then you have to apply his teaching in your life. Do what he tells you to do. Like be charitable, be moral, and meditate. If you can do this, then you will improve your life. You will become better. You'll be happier. But by getting a piece of his possession or whatever, or touch him, or he touches your head, this doesn't bring anything. It's just a sense of happiness, temporary happiness. That's all. It's more emotional, psychological, not rational. Okay.
Yeah. And I have a friend, two friends actually.
Go ahead.
No, it's still okay. One asked about she's from another religion, and she's asking herself, at what point does one call themselves a Buddhist?
A Buddhist is someone who follows the teaching of the Buddha, Dhamma, and the Sangha only, and doesn't. If any other teaching contradicts with the teaching of the Buddha, Dhamma, and Sangha, then you don't follow them. Then you become a Buddhist. And the teaching of Buddha teaches on the law of karma. You are good or bad by your own action of body, speech, and mind. If you want to be good, keep doing good action of body, speech, and mind, and you will be happy. But if other teaching contradict this teaching, then you don't follow them. You only follow the teaching of the Buddha, Dhamma, and the Sangha. That's what they mean by taking the Buddha, Dhamma, Sangha as a refuge. Refuge means as someone who to lead you. We are like blind people. We need someone who has good vision to lead us to a place where it's safe for us. And the Buddha, the Dhamma, and the Sangha are people with good vision. They know a place where it's safe for us. If we follow their teaching, then we will get to that place eventually.
And another one of a friend of mine asked about. She feels like it's not fair for a human to be reborn and not to remember their past karmas. But while devas and the lesser beings, beings which are born in the lower realm, which like Peta or some other forms, actually remember their past karmas. Why is that?
No, it's to remember the past. It depends on each individual's ability to recollect. We have different ability to recollect the past. So it's just another ability, like all the different abilities that we have in each one of us. Some people excel in science, some people excel in art, some people excel in sport. So some people excel in remembering the past. So this is just another special ability of each individual person.
Even if they're not human.
Well, they used to be human before. We were all human, and when we were human, we do good or bad karma, and after that, then we go become different kind of beings. If we do bad karma, then we go, and then we can become animals or become what you call undesirable ghost, and spirit, or we can become desirable spirit, which means angels and in heaven. These are the result of the karma that we commit while we are human beings. See? The other realms is the place where you go and take the result of your karma, reap the result of your karma. In human realm, it's the only realm that we do karma. The other realm, we don't do karma. We just go and pay our karma or reap our karma. So maybe you've been going up and down. Sometimes you might be born as an angel. Sometimes you might be born as an animal. Because when you are a human being, you might do different karma. Sometimes you kill a mosquito or kill some ants. Then you're doing bad karma. Someday you give money to charity, you're doing good karma, help other people. So this karma will then be the one that will send you to the various realms of existence.
I actually did a few bit of meditation, and I find myself to be attached to a meditation pillow, the thing that in most meditation retreat they use that. And if I go to the temples and pray during Sunday prayer, and it is time to do bhavana, I find it very hard for me to meditate because I don't have the meditation pillow. Can Ajahn please advise on how to make myself to be more comfortable without using the meditation pillow?
Well, when you meditate, you should disregard the body comfort. But the body comfort is not important. What is important is your focus on the meditation object. So when you sit, just pay attention to your meditation object and disregard the feeling of the body. maybe it's comfortable, maybe it's not. Try to do both, so you can do either way. If you have pillows to sit on, you use it. If you don't, you just don't need to. So you have to try to do. The best way is to try not to have anything, because then it will be easy for you to meditate wherever you go.
And actually, there's if I find it a lot easier to watch my breath rather than citing Buddha during meditation. But every time I'm watching my breath, I feel like I'm controlling it. For a moment, after a while, I keep doing it, but I don't think I'm progressing because I just keep my breath on tempo instead of just watching it from behind.
Well, just keep doing it. This thing doesn't happen. The result doesn't really happen 1 or 2 times you do it. It may take 100 times, 200 times before you finally get the proper way of meditating. So just keep trying, keep doing it. Don't expect too much result from your practice. Just be happy that you can meditate. As far as the result, that's something else. But just try to make yourself available for meditation and meditate as much as possible. And then one day you'll find the correct way of doing it.
I heard I watched one of your Dhammadesana from YouTube saying that it's actually best to do meditation after you wake up and before you go to sleep.
Yeah, because that's during the time when your mind becomes more peaceful than at other times. If you meditate during the day, if in the middle of working, your mind's been constantly thinking about your work, so you'll find it difficult to calm it down.
But I find it very difficult when I'm trying to meditate in the night. It's a lot easier after I wake up.
Okay, then you do it after you wake up. Yeah. See, so you know that your mind is different at different time. There are times that it's easy to meditate, and there are times that it's not easy to meditate.
So do I just stop meditating when my mind is having difficulty to?
No, you should try to do it every time, at any time possible. The more you do it, the easier it will become.
Okay.
But this is just generally letting people know how the mind shifts, how the mind changes with time. But this, you should not use it as the reason for meditating or not meditating. You should always meditate whenever you have the time to meditate.
Even if for like half an hour straight, I can't even concentrate.
At least you are trying. See, at least that's something better than not than nothing. When you don't meditate, you don't get anything. If you meditate, at least you are trying, and then you will develop this ability of trying. So you'll find it that you can try harder and harder, and you can practice more and more. So try to do as much as possible. Even though if you don't get the result, at least you get the practice going. And eventually, sooner or later, you might get the result. the result comes from your practice. If you don't practice, you will never get any result. But if you practice, sometimes you might get it, sometimes you might not. But at least you're moving toward the result every time you practice. So just keep practicing as much as possible, regardless of the time. Sometimes it's easy, sometimes it's hard. You know, it's like walking. Sometimes you have to walk up the slope. It's hard. Sometimes you walk down the slope. It's easy.
Because there are times when my mind is actually very active, that I'm becoming able to do, I watch my breath while thinking about other things, or I can recite Buddha and while I watch my breath. So I was like thinking, maybe I should slow my mind down a bit rather than it's sometimes it's going too fast for me, at least for my meditation.
When you meditate, you're slowing your mind down. You're not pushing your mind to think. You're stopping your mind from thinking. So whenever you meditate, you're actually slowing your mind, not pushing your mind. Okay? All right. Any more? Okay, no more. Huh?